I'm Sam Sutherland, a former and potentially current music journalist, and End Hits is the video and the newsletter. The link to subscribe is in the description, where I aggregate the best songs that I heard this week in no particular order, and with no inkling of consistency in terms of numbers or genres or, actual newness and freshness of the tracks. But honestly, I have great taste, so I'm sure you're in for a treat. Bringing This Up by Jetty Bones is like a credible version of all of the music that I love the most, but have to pretend that I hate and think is quite lame. The band that comes to mind most easily for me is Spitalfield, who are a, post-good Victory Records band. Just real pop pablum, like truly emo is dead, and we're just all trying to cash in, and it just sounds cynical to listen to. At the same time, I love it. I'm not better than it. I think it's really good. And if anyone watching was in Spitalfield or is currently in Spitalfield, there's probably been a reunion by now. Thank you for your service. What Jetty Bones do so perfectly on this song is take the shameless pop approach of those late era third wave emo bands and meld it with the kind of contemporary modern baseball emo sound that all the kids seem to be so hot about these days. The result is something that very delicately balances such a earnest pop sensibility that it could be tragically uncool in the wrong hands, but with a very contemporary approach that you can't help but be attracted to. It doesn't just feel like nostalgia, and it certainly doesn't feel like you're being talked or rocked down to. There's enough really interesting and technical guitar playing to elevate this above just, a standard kind of pop emo track. It is extremely great, and I've listened to their last two EPs a hell of a lot because of this song, and I can't wait to see what becomes of this song, because it's just a single, but my God, it's so tight. Nav or Never from The Good, The Bad, and The Zugly features the recently anointed new lead singer of Kvelertak, the good band. While Kvelertak is much more, proper metal, and this is 100% just kind of old school barroom punk rock, you can see why he was plucked and placed into that extremely sick band. Because despite being a, heavier, more metal act, there is this classic punk edge to what they do, and this is nothing if not classically punked edged. This sounds a lot like what the Bronx are doing, but without any hint of, West Coast American irony. This is just like The Business. I mean, it's sort of big, like soccer hooligan, except I guess Norwegian. Do you guys have soccer hooligans in Norway? If anyone's watching, please let me know what your hooligans are like. But this is kind of how I imagine they rock. So if you are in the mood for more heavily accented and just straight up sincere Bronx style classic, like Go for the Gut, we're rocking, we're drinking, we're listening to Sham 69 later in the night, this is extremely good. Netherlands' Rewild came out a few months ago, but similar to last week, where I'm asking for forgiveness because there's a new video and it reminded me of how good this is, there's a new video and it reminded me how good this is. Forgiveness, please. Timo Ellis from Netherlands is best known for collaborating with artists like Yoko Ono and Ween, but this sounds nothing like any of that. It's just super heavy. It sort of sounds like Floor, but with the melodic sensibility of Torch, but with the full-on kind of hooky doom of Floor, with none of the cheap trick fun of Torch. Not that this isn't fun, it's extremely fun. It's just extremely dirgy, but somehow succeeds in also being extremely poppy, but somehow also succeeds in being from a frequency standpoint, very heavy. So if you're into Yoko Ono, you might be into this, but that's certainly not the most apt comparison. Heaven from Charly Bliss is much more grungy than any of the material on Guppy, which is a great record. And if you have to listen to that record. Oh my God, it's a great record. But whereas I think you could classify most of what's on Guppy as pop punk for people who think that they're better than pop punk, this is definitely steeped in classic sub pop worship, which is sick because it still has the, dare I say it, pop punk sensibility that I think makes Charly Bliss such an exciting band. I dared to say it. Whereas a lot of bands that have recently gone back to mine the classic sounds of the 90s, from a sonic perspective, what so many of them seem to be missing is that the best of those bands were also excellent songwriters. And it wasn't just about how sick your guitar tone is, although the guitar tone on this is extremely sick. Instead, equal weight has clearly been put to the vocal melodies. Put on, equal weight has been put in the general vicinity of the vocal melodies as the guitar tone. And it works. It just really works. I thought I had something else to add, but I don't. Now I kind of have to burp. I'm good now. What was the best thing that you heard this week? Let me know in the comments or on Twitter or at the bar. And remember, all of the songs that I talk about, there are links in the description to free streaming options, sites for those. And this is still a newsletter as well, which is like this plus additional writing. And you can subscribe to that through a link in the description. Brilliant, a brilliant invention. The description. Be excellent to each other and stay high.